So, Mr. Merritt, thanks for joining us this morning, and tell us a little about what you do, and thanks again for coming on with us.
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. I hope y'all are doing well and getting ready for a big Thursday night tonight.
Yes, sir. First time in 10 years. Hopefully, the fans will come out and support the Tigers' first home game in we're talking about a month. October, 19th to the 14th of November is a long time. I don't know if I've ever seen a schedule go like that, but so, I mean, hopefully, I know you're thinking the same thing, that people come out and support. I know it's a Thursday night, but the Tigers definitely need it.
Well, they do, and, Thursday nights have not been kind to Clemson over the years. They're 3-9 on Thursday night games, so I think the crowd will play as big a factor in this ball game as pretty much any game that they're going to, have in Death Valley. And I think everybody's just kind of ready to see Clemson back at home. I mean, Death Valley is a special place, and it's uniquely different than a lot of other, venues that are out there. And it being a Thursday night just gives that added element of just uniqueness. So I think it's going to be an awful lot of fun for folks. I mean, I know for a fact that I've shelved out about 18 different tickets to folks for tonight. So I mean, I know everybody's ready. And, I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere.
Well, and the Tigers still got a lot to play for. I mean, it's not like obviously it was disappointing versus FSU. I was listening to y'all's call during that game, and I know that you were probably running out of things to say. It was hard to swallow for everybody, I think. And but hopefully the fans come out and support. Think about Taj Boyd and probably Sammy's last night game, our last conference game. Hopefully he can go out with a bang. And what better way than to end his career with 11-1 season. Just sum up. You've watched Taj. Over his 4 years, just sum up, his career kind of in your own words, from the own color analyst of the Clemson Football Network. So,
well, Taj and I have become very, very close over the years, and I consider him a great friend. And we have we've had a lot of long conversations about what it has meant for him to be the quarterback at Clemson, and he's taken it very seriously over the years, and in my opinion, he's done as tremendous of a job of being humble with all the accolades and all the adoration that has been completely just dumped on him over the years. I mean, it takes a special young man to receive the type of credit and awards and national recognition, local recognition, even the student body, how he has just embraced his fellow students at Clemson. The coaches love him. I don't know that you could sum up in just a one word how much that young man has meant to Clemson. And I was fortunate enough to play with a very similar guy, Woody Dantzler. He was my quarterback for 4 years, and I saw him go through the same thing. And to see Woody and Taj become as close as they have over the years, I think that has been a tremendous asset for Taj. And he just really has done all the little things that you want a player to do in order to not exalt himself, but to put the program first. And he's done it with a great amount of dignity, and he's going to be tremendously missed when he heads on to start playing on Sunday.
Right. Well, talk about, now you took over for color commentary on radio in 2003 with the late Jim Phillips. Talk about, your career at Clemson and getting into broadcasting and what intrigued you about it, and just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I was living in Colorado at the time. I finished playing in 2001 and had moved out to Colorado with my wife, and Jim Phillips calls me one day completely out of the blue and said, hey, look, we're going to make a change, and Rodney Williams is going to step down as the color analyst for the broadcast team, and I'd love for you to come take a good hard look at potentially becoming the new color analyst for us. And that was in 2002. And so I moved back home and did the pre- and post-game show for an entire year with Jim. And then the following year I became his color analyst. And so I had worked just a few games before he passed away as Jim's color man. So I had one full season under my belt doing pre- and post-game shows with him. And I was trying to learn, exactly what he wanted from me. And then the following year, he passed away after the Furman game. So very interesting start to my career in the broadcast realm for Clemson, but I did learn a tremendous amount from him in a very short period of time.
Right. Well, I think you and Pete Yanity and Patrick Sapp down on the side. Y'all do a great job. We had Pete on the show last week. But just talk about, kind of y'all kind of feed off of each other. I mean, I think that's what makes college football is you be able to listen like Larry Munson and all the great Jim Phillips, and that's what makes football great. I'd rather turn off the TV and listen on the radio because it paints a picture for you.
Well, man, I appreciate you saying that. That means a tremendous amount to me. And I have two goals every single Saturday. When I get up the broadcast booth, I only have two goals. One is I'm going to have a good time. I'm gonna cut loose. I'm gonna have fun. This is a game that was meant to be fun. It was meant to be enjoyed. We're not talking about brain surgery or cancer here. We're talking about football. Okay, so we may as well go up there and have the time of our life calling the game. And number two, I want to be accurate. If we're getting our teeth kicked in, and then we need to tell everybody, hey, we're getting our teeth kicked in. If our offensive line's not playing great, then we have to be able to analyze the fact that, hey, they're not playing great. If the D-line is getting pushed around, we got to talk about that. But, conversely, I mean, if we're doing things well, I want to get excited about it. I want to promote Clemson. I want to have fun promoting Clemson. And I want to enjoy what the fruits of the labor that have gone into 5-6 days of hard practice to get ready for a Saturday. So it's not one of those things to where I don't take it for granted because every single game is uniquely special and is fun. Pete and I have a tremendous chemistry, but simply because we're so drastically different. I mean, we're just not the same guy trying to call the game. Therefore, when his strengths are my weaknesses, and his weaknesses hopefully will be my strengths, and I think at the end of the day too, to be quite honest with you, we're such good friends off the air. It makes it real easy to be good friends on the air, and so it's a tremendous amount of fun, and I cherish every opportunity I get to do it.
Right. Well, talking about the fun part of the ballgame, I think that's what that's why Todd struggled a little bit in the middle of the season versus FSU. He kind of lost the fun, and now he's gotten it back a little bit. He probably realized, hey, I've only got this many games as a Clemson Tiger, then it's over, and you can't come back. So I mean, I think if as long as he has just he can trust himself, he can make throws. He's athletic enough. Just hit your guys. I mean, he'll get them, but. Talk about, give us a little preview on the game tonight. I know you've probably broken down Georgia Tech a little bit, and what do you think? How are they going to target Clemson's weak spots? I guess you could say. I guess maybe in the secondary or things like that.
Sure. Well, I mean, Georgia Tech's got some tremendous athletes on offense. I mean, they've got some, their A and H backs that they use out of that option set offense that they run. They're really really talented out of the backfield. They've got a couple of wide receivers that I think are going to pose some tremendous problems as well. Georgia Tech is not typically a pass-oriented offense. This is not a pass-happy type team. But Vad Lee is one of these quarterbacks that if you do give him time, he can hurt you with his arm. Now, he's going to be much more apt to running out of the pocket and trying to use his legs to hurt you on the down and distance situations that they'll give him. But I do believe that he only throws the ball, between 12 and 15 times a game. So it's not like they're looking downfield all the time. Georgia Tech does one thing very well. They block very well up front, and they understand their offense. So this will be Coach Venable's one of his tallest tasks of the year to be able to stop what has been a very prolific offense over the years. Now, I don't think they're as athletic as they have been in years past. So I think from an athletic standpoint, Clemson will be able to go toe-to-toe with them and probably man up. Defensively, I think what Georgia Tech poses is they only really have 2 or 3 guys that could come on a blitz package and probably hurt us. Our offensive line has played well at times this year, but they've also given up a lot of pressure at times. So I think Georgia Tech has probably seen that on film, and they're going to try to continue to exploit that. I do think Clemson's a better football team. I think we're more athletic. I think we're better coached. I think we have better athletes at the skill position. Therefore, I think we will win the ball game tonight. I think it will come down to a couple of things, though. We cannot continue to turn the ball over like we have in recent ball games. If we continue to fumble the football, then you let Georgia Tech hang around, then it could be a very, very long night. So I think that the two things Clemson has to do very well tonight is do what they've done earlier this year, and that's strike early. We have been a team that has scored very, very quickly to start the ball game off. Do that, put the pressure on Georgia Tech, and I think if you do that, then Georgia Tech's not a great come-from-behind type football team.
Right. I think if you can get up on Georgia Tech, it takes them so long to score.
Bingo.
That,
yeah, exactly right.
But that's, I guess you can turn that the other way around. If they start staying on the field a long time and, methodically moving the ball down the field and scoring, that's where you get it. But also with Georgia Tech, the only thing that scares me about them is if you get that, extra man to move up, then they burn you over the top. I mean, they don't have a great quarterback, but hopefully we can avoid that. Everybody can, zone in. I mean, obviously, it's a hard – you just want to, contain them the best you can. I mean, they're going to run for yards, but – just hoping avoid the big plays. But
and this ball game is going to be a close ball game.
Right.
They typically always are. I mean, 12 of the last 18 games have been decided by 5 points or less. So this is typically a very close ball game. So you're not talking about two teams, either one that have run away with the score in a lopsided fashion. Those have been very few and far between. So look for this to be a four-quarter football game, and Clemson will have to play very, very well late in the ball game to secure a win.
Right. Well, talk about, Clemson possibly going 11-1 and moving on to a BCS. But, I mean, what do you think the chances of that are? And I think that'd be a great season. I mean, you did lose to Florida State in, kind of embarrassing fashion. But, if they go on to the national title, I mean, heck, you lost to the team that's in the national title. So,
yeah, a 51-14 loss is an embarrassing loss. I mean, one of the worst losses in the history of Death Valley. So you don't just discount the fact that you got beat soundly, but you got beat by a pretty good football team, and you turned the ball over a tremendous amount in that contest, and you gave Florida State short fields to work with all night. Those aren't excuses; those are just facts. That's what happened. That's the way the ball game played out. Florida State just completely beat Clemson up, especially in the third quarter. They came out and they were ready to play, and we were not. Now, I do think that, the ability to go on the road and bounce back and get a win, at Maryland and at Virginia and get those wins, away from home, beating Virginia by 49 points. I mean, that's not slapstick, man. That's getting it done. So, I think that they've gotten their confidence back, and I think that if they can continue on this run, obviously you feel like you can win tonight. You feel like you can beat the Citadel. Obviously, the showdown with South Carolina at the end. If they pull that one off, I mean, 11-1 season, they don't just hand those wins out. Okay, they don't just walk up and say, hey, by the way, here's 11 wins on the year. You have to earn that. And so if they do that and they get into an at-large BCS game, hopefully it'll be a pretty good national showing for a ball club that, quite frankly, has earned it. They've earned the reputation they have.
All right, well, once again, we're joined by Will Merritt of the Clemson Tiger Sports Network. He's the color commentator along with Pete Yandy and Patrick Sepp on the sideline. But we really appreciate you coming on with us this morning. Just give us, I guess, prediction for the game tonight, score prediction. I mean, obviously you said the Tigers you think will win, but it'll be a close ball game. It obviously is. It's a rivalry game. And hopefully people come out and pack the stands tonight because last night, we've had 3 night games this year. Those are pretty special. You don't get many Thursday night games. So we'll be tuning in to you tonight. And thanks for coming on, and go Tigers.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Have a great night, okay?
All right, thanks again. That's Will Merritt from the Clemson Tiger Sports Network.